You mentioned plumbing, so what would be the difference between us and Pimlico Plumbers? Would it be just the cost? Because obviously Pimlico Plumbers would come out instantly if it's a call out, but you're going to be paying 3 times as much money.
Okay, I'll start with price, but I don't want to go down that route.
Yeah.
Let's talk about transparency. Let's talk about technology. Let's talk about detailed reports, efficiency, and care. Now, all our guys are not subcontractors.
Yeah.
They're directly employed by Trio.
Yeah.
They've been with us since the beginning of time. The 8 engineers that we have on the road know how we think, know how we work, and know how our client wants to receive, whether it's work or message. So we have to understand that there's a lot of value in this, because it's not a subcontractor going out and just getting the job done and, tap a couple of things on the iPad, next to my next job. That's not what we're here for. Main Trio is, and this part of collaboration with New on the new aftercare is about a transparent service. And let's not talk about price, but if we want to go there, we're talking a fraction of the price.
Yeah. So in each van, what technologies do the boys use in their vans? Have they got all sort of apps on their iPads or?
So the guys have apps that is live interlinked with our office. So every move that they make, obviously they're carrying their phone. We know about. So if there's any information the landlord or the client would want,
so it's all GPS tracked. Everyone knows where
everyone
it is.
knows. Befores and afters, videos, everything is instant. The moment it goes on the app, which it does when they're on site, they take photos of absolutely everything, and it gets directly to our office. So the client will receive it the same day.
Yeah.
It's all very transparent. We actually offer a service which is not included in this, but it might do depending on how we go, and if the client, it may even be the first sort of 10. We may even offer this where the client can actually log in to our system and see his file and activity.
I think that would be quite cool. So if it's a client, obviously they would have signed up for the actual package.
Yeah.
They then can probably download an app. And they could probably don't even have to call you.
No.
They just push the button on the app.
And see the activity and log the activity.
And that app, we're talking about the technology reading pressure losses in the house. If it's in the client's houses we're dealing with.
Correct.
If we're building this into the house.
Correct.
That app could tell you
100%. If we
where
go down
the potential leak is.
Correct.
Or
if the client opts to go down the preventive maintenance route, that is something that will be available as well. Yeah.
And that's not even a lot of money, is it?
No.
So these devices are
maybe £300 per property, and that will cover bathroom, kitchen, and another division. Maybe 3 divisions, which obviously high moisture and leak type divisions, which is your bathroom, your kitchen, and maybe living room due to the amount of windows you have, so it can cause a lot of breeze and condensation. So that can be detected straight away.
Like, you can imagine if past clients of us now, because we still get phone calls now.
You do. And it's nothing to do with New, and it's nothing to do with the contractors. It just happens, So, and I think that's where the aftercare goes a long way, because it's just that peace of mind that within the year or however many years, there's going to be something, right? If we're talking constant usage of bathrooms, constant usage of sinks, motors, blinds, whatever it is, something's bound to go,
So no matter how small the problem is, maybe we've got a contract with a family and the husband's away, and the client wants loads of bulbs changed. You can go around to change the bulbs.
Change the bulbs.
And fuses, just basic stuff.
Anything from changing a doorknob to changing a fuse to something a little bit more aggressive, which hopefully won't happen, because that's not the tendency of New's build, right? And I think it's important to say, you get a list with technology, high technology in homes. You will find that sometimes the landlords or the clients don't know how to use certain manuals, and sometimes they may even call us out where. And the problem was they forgot to flick the switch. It's important to mention that they won't get charged for that. It's included in the service. So the price they pay on a yearly basis for the aftercare is literally, they'll only get charged the fraction of the Pimlico.
So when we finish, say if we finish the property next week and it's done, Ronnie's got all the manuals together, and we're gonna introduce them to you for the initial sign up. So you go around there,
100%.
You pitch your services, they sign up, and that's it.
Literally.
And so for the membership there'd be one fee, and for every call out there'd be a call out fee?
So no call out fee. So for example, the going rate in London for a reputable, and it's important to say this, a reputable contractor is £60 an hour for a handyman type work. So changing a doorknob, painting, patch painting, changing, a door, £60 an hour. For electrics and gas, £80 an hour, and plumbers, right? That is a fair going rate. So anyone watching this video, if you are paying more than that, please do question, because you shouldn't be paying. A well-structured maintenance company should be able to run on 60 and 80 depending on the trade.
Exactly.
So
and you talk about GPS as well, because some trades, when they come to see you, they need a part, they jump in the van, they disappear for a couple of hours, maybe go and do another job, and then they come back and they charge you for the 2 hours they've gone away.
And this is common, and this is why part of the reason we have the technology in place, because that's not how we operate. So if a new engineer comes into Trio and decides to really be active on his old activity, we can track that. And you can't control people. At the end of the day, you cannot. What you can do is have the appropriate systems and policies in place to minimize certain activity. So back to your question, the call-out rate, there is no call-out rate. There is only a call-out charge if we fix the issue and investigate it and quote further, which would be £35 for the hour.
Right.
So not your.
So if we have a call from the client and there's nothing to do, there is no charge. Okay. But if there is something to do,
it's £35.
Then it's £35 an hour plus whatever
material
there is.
Correct.
That's good.
Correct.
No, I like that. And your staff, you said they've been working with you for many years.
7 years.
Yeah. Are
7 years.
Are they vetted? Do they get
100%.
checked?
All of them are checked. Obviously, we work with housing associations and co-ops. Obviously, the tenancies there are a little bit more sensitive, so we had to have the appropriate checks on them to make sure, obviously, no one's had any criminal activity and whatnot. Absolutely, we're going into people's homes, so we take that very seriously.
So I think we're going to be definitely implementing this into
new.
Maybe it'll probably be up and running within a few weeks. So it'd be something where if our viewers out there are thinking about coming to New, it's just an extra value service we can offer them.
Absolutely.
And also it would just work well with what we're adding already.
Absolutely.
So it blends in really well. Maybe as well, if people are watching and they're not even our clients, but they want this service. They can always get in contact with us.
100%, please do.
020-773-16841, and we can we can sign them up through the new care package,
Absolutely.
which then you can take care of.
Absolutely.
And maybe even if there's any management companies or landlords who want this kind of service.
Works very well for landlords, yes. HMOs, owners, so landlords who are quite big on HMOs, obviously dealing with multiple tenancies, multiple rooms, more likely that there will be damage and maintenance issues. It works very well.
So what's this preventative, because this is what we talked about earlier. For landlords and management blocks, putting measures into the property to prevent
the
future problems.
Correct.
So I think that's a really important thing to sort of mention as well, because for a little investment, the landlords are going to be protected from potential leaks in the future, because the leak can be spotted because maybe there's a change in moisture, pressure,
air, condensation.
So when this check pressure thing sets off, who gets the alarm? Do you get the alarm?
We get the alarm.
The landlord gets the alarm as well.
The landlord will be notified. So ideally, how it would work, because as I said, preventative maintenance will need to have a float, normally 250, because it enables us to go out, buy what material we need and fix the issue, rather than, which is a common issue, is we have a problem and then we need to go to the landlord to get approval on something that will cost £100. Not to forget, that can go on for 5 days. 5 days is enough for that preventative reaction to turn into it's now reactive. So we're just trying to prevent and minimize time to action the issue that could cost thousands.
Do you know anyone else doing this? Because I don't.
No, there's no one else doing it in the country.
Where's the technology made?
Germany.
Have you actually got any of these devices in the UK?
Yes, we've got samples in our office today.
Yeah.
And we're negotiating on volume because we understand that it's going to be a volume type business, right? A volume type product.
So maybe next time you come in, let's bring a couple of those devices in. And
100%. I think we should do another content.
Do another little video about that, because I think that is really good.
Yeah.
And
solves the problem.
Even again, when we're doing our fit outs, we can put those into the house anyway.
Yeah.
So and that could be something new can buy for the client, and it's just part of the service anyway.
Correct.
So that links in.
It all links into
that
the
links into
aftercare.
there. So the aftercare is the same money. It's just another layer of value the client gets for free.
Absolutely, absolutely. So instead of the client having to identify it visually, obviously you can't identify what's above their ceiling.
Yeah.
We will know before the client has a visual of a yellow mark or a leak mark.
Yeah.
Which I think, it will cost maybe £1,000 to repair a ceiling. It could cost 250 quid to prevent it from happening.
Sounds good. Well, cheers, mate. Thanks
Thank
for coming in.
Thank you for having me. Awesome, great stuff.
Welcome on board.
Thank you very much. Nice to be on board. Thank you. Cheers. Thank you very much.
Cut.
That went well.
That went well.
That went really well.